Today, we're going to crack open a classic that literally changed millions of lives, Dr. Maxwell Maltz's Psycho-Cybernetics. It's a book that pulled back the curtain on a powerful truth about how our own minds operate, for us or sometimes against us.
So, our story starts somewhere you'd probably never expect. Not in some psychology lab, but right in the middle of an operating room. You see, Dr. Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon, and through his work, he stumbled upon a discovery that went way, way deeper than just skin.
Dr. Maltz had this really strange problem on his hands. He'd perform a technically perfect surgery, give someone a new face, and he'd expect them to be thrilled, right? But a lot of the time, they weren't. And this baffling paradox, where a physical success led to a psychological failure, it sent him on this quest for a much deeper truth about what really shapes who we are.
He actually called it the surgeon's surprising problem. And this right here is where he made his most important discovery.
So, on the one hand, he saw these absolutely incredible transformations. He had this salesman with a pretty bad facial scar, and after surgery, the guy's confidence just explodes and he becomes a huge success. But for every one of those amazing stories, there was a baffling failure. A woman would get a perfect nose job, yet she'd remain completely convinced she was ugly. Maltz started to realize the real mystery wasn't physical at all. It was that so many of his patients had defects that were purely imaginary. The problem wasn't the face in the mirror.
He figured out that the real key was something he called the self-image. Think of it like this. It's the non-physical face of your personality. It's your own internal blueprint of yourself. And he found that unless this mental picture is changed, no amount of external change will ever matter.
So that brings up a huge question, right? How does this self-image actually control us? Well, Maltz found the answer in a really surprising place, not in psychology, but in the new science of cybernetics, which is basically the study of goal-oriented systems.
What he realized was that our brain and our nervous system, they operate as this incredibly powerful built-in guidance machine. It's an automatic, goal-striving mechanism that's designed to hit targets, a lot like how a torpedo locks onto a ship and just automatically steers itself right there.
And check out how this works. First, your conscious mind sets the target. That's the goal. Then, this automatic system just takes over. It uses what scientists call negative feedback. It makes a little error, recognizes it's off course, and automatically corrects. It zigzags and literally gropes its way toward whatever goal you've given it. Okay, but here's the catch, and it is a big one. This machine is completely impersonal. It doesn't care about your happiness one bit. If you feed it success goals, it functions as a success mechanism. Perfect. But if you feed it failure goals, like a self-image of someone who is unlucky or not good enough, it will operate just as faithfully as a failure mechanism, steering you straight into the very outcomes you're trying to avoid.
So this leads to a really fascinating problem. We know the machine learns from our past successes and failures. But what if all your past experiences are, well, failures? How in the world can you program this thing for success?
This was the central dilemma Maltz was up against. It's a classic catch-22, right? You need successful experiences to build a successful self-image, but you can't get those experiences without having the confidence to succeed in the first place. It's just like needing a job to get experience, but needing experience to get a job.
And this slide illustrates what is probably the single most revolutionary idea in the entire book. Get this. Psychologists have proven, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that your nervous system literally cannot tell the difference between an actual, real-life experience and one that you just imagined vividly and in great detail.
And this wasn't just some wacky theory. They ran controlled experiments that showed mental practice improved dart throwing just as much as actually throwing darts. Students got better at basketball free throws simply by imagining sinking the shots. Salesmen who used mental role-playing saw their sales jump by up to 400%. You can basically create synthetic experience right there in the laboratory of your own mind.
So why does all of this matter to you? What's the practical takeaway? Well, it means you have a powerful and very real tool to reprogram your own automatic mechanism for success. And it doesn't matter what's happened in your past. You know, this is exactly why just thinking positive by itself often falls flat. Your positive thoughts have to line up with that deep-seated self-image. And the way to change that self-image isn't just through thinking, it's through experiencing. By vividly imagining success, you're actually giving your nervous system the new experiences it needs to build a new self-image from the ground up. Now, Maltz wasn't asking for some huge, lifelong commitment. He proposed that you try these mental rehearsals, this mental practice, consistently for just 21 days.
He observed that was about the minimum time required for an old mental image to start to dissolve and for a new one to really begin to take hold.
So, the fundamental lesson here, the big takeaway from all this, is that this powerful, goal-striving machine inside of you is always running. It's always on, just waiting for a target. It's this incredible tool for creative living that's sitting there waiting for your instructions. So, the only question left is, where are you going to aim it?